Liam Payne's girlfriend, Cassidy, sits down for the first time and talks about everything. She exposes absolutely everything from when she found out to all the other details that have been so horribly rumored. We got to talk about this, but before we get into it, hello! My name is Sebastian and I spill pop culture tea videos every single day. So if you're looking for a new messy best friend, you have found me. So grab a snack, grab a drink, girl, and hit that subscribe button. I would be so incredibly grateful. Best friend, if you are not aware, I am your fairy tea godmother. So come on in, girl, and join my sparkly closet. We spill pop culture tea. I do 5 videos a day, and it feels like we're on a FaceTime call. And I am so grateful and thankful to be here with you all. And let's get started. You guys like my new sweater? One of my messy besties sent it to me, and the one too, girl. If you guys didn't watch my unboxing of all my birthday gifts, make sure to go watch. Is on the live. All right, so now that we got those pleasantries, if you will, out the way, we do got to get a little more serious and talk about Cassidy, Liam Payne's girlfriend. Now, Liam Payne, after he passed, there's been just so many things that have been said about his girlfriend. The last couple of things that have been in the media is that his family is allegedly really upset that she is being more vocal on social media, that she's, on TikTok, and that she's basically, they believe she's monetizing off of his passing. And this is right now kind of like the war that there is going on in social media, basically saying like, should she talk? Should she keep things to herself? Should she not post on social media? Well, now she sat down with Shetty on his podcast. Shetty, if you guys don't know, I don't know him personally, but girl, every single interview that I've seen this man do, it's just absolutely beautiful. I mean, the way that he is so calm and he's seems so kind and so sweet and just so chill and relaxed. It is absolutely amazing. And he is someone that I think that really is I think he's sort of like an angel, because the way that he expresses himself, the way that he talks is just so comforting. So I highly suggest you watch his podcast. But Cassidy sat down with him, and she sat down for that exact reason. He asked her why did she choose to do it, and she said, you have a very calming spirit and you have a very calming way about you, so I felt safe with you. So girl. So I do have to say, best friend, I do highly suggest you watch that in a podcast. It's an hour long. So I'm just sort of giving you guys some of the highlights that I found interesting. But definitely go watch it, because it is definitely a must watch, okay? Just type in Cassidy and it'll be the first thing that pops out. All right, so the first thing that caught my attention was the way she was so honest about Liam Payne's addiction. She admitted that he was struggling. She admitted that she did her very best to understand it. She's never dealt with any type of addiction in her family or in her life before. She didn't quite understand it. So she kept saying how she would tell Liam, like, can you just like stop? Basically like a simple question, because, if you're not used to that, you're not used to being around that, you are, you're confused about it, like, is it something you have to do, right? And she understood a little bit more, and she understood that he had been dealing with mental health issues and addiction for a very long time, and very privately and secretly. She said she tried to get him out more. She tried to, to get him to kind of leave the house more. He was more of a homebody. She always wanted to go out and, just like nature and this and that. She recalls one time they were in Greece, and they were in their hotel room, and it was a beautiful day, 80 degrees. The beach was right there. Like, it was just absolutely stunning. And she didn't quite understand why they were indoors. So she goes, no, get your stuff. We're going to the beach. If you want to come back, we'll come back. And then he had posted things like, oh, my girlfriend is forcing me to go to the beach. Like, I don't want to be here, this and that. And she says that she got so much hate for that. And she recalls that she only did it because she wanted to help him out. And that there's a lot of things that the public doesn't know. And this is something I've always said about this situation in particular, is that I do believe that there's a lot of things that we don't know about Kate Cassidy, about, Liam Payne, about all the things that went on closed doors, right? And I think that's very important to understand and to also to accept, because so many people believe that they know a celebrity just because they follow them, or just because just because they follow them. And that's not the case, you guys. Like, I live in Los Angeles, and let me tell you guys, a lot of the people that you guys admire, I would think twice, honey, okay? A lot of people are not what you think they are. And, I have to say, like, a lot of things that we think are the reality is really not the reality, right? And so it's sort of like Selena Gomez. I always get asked, like, what happens if you ever see Selena Gomez? Would you ever go up to her and, start screaming and take pictures? I'm like, first of all, I don't ever want to make a bad first impression. So the first thing I would do is, obviously, if there is a time and space to come up to somebody, then I will. If there's a time and space to talk to somebody, then I will. But I don't have to think that they know me. I'm a stranger to them. They're a stranger to me, but I know more about them than they know about me. Do you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things that people have assumed of Liam Payne and have assumed of Kate Cassidy that maybe is not the thing, or not the case. So she said that they definitely struggled with that, and she tried her very best to sort of get him out and to sort of just let him, experience other things and just, be out and about and just kind of enjoy life a little bit more and get him out of that, What Liam Payne, and I think what a lot of musicians and people in the industry that grow up in the industry go through, are things that I don't think we're ever going to really understand. I think being famous at such a young age is not a healthy thing. I think that a lot of us will never understand it. And I think that having so many people at your beck and call and living in a world where everyone is a yes person and thinking you're on top of the world, money, girls, power, access to whatever you want, then come the substances, then come the users, then come all these things. You get lost and you lose yourself. And, that's something that in any type of stage of whoever's life, whoever you are, whatever you do, once you lose yourself, it's hard to come back. And like Kate said, no one can force you to recovery. You have to decide whether you want to recover or not, and that you want to, abandon your addictions. You know what I mean? She did recall the day she found out Liam passed, which that was very difficult. I'm not going to lie. You guys know I've always associated Liam's passing to my brother's passing because it was kind of similar. And, it brings you back to all these memories of the phone call and this and that. And, she did say, that she was alone with her dog in Florida. You guys can watch that part. To be very honest, that part really triggers me. So I'm just going to skip from that part. But, she's mentioned it before, I did want to talk about something that I just found so interesting. She talked about how when she was leaving Argentina, she says how they were very dependent on one another, and that he was, she and both of them, whenever they would leave each other, it would be like a whole ordeal, a whole production, right? And she talks about how in this particular moment when she was leaving Argentina, her car was outside waiting to take her to the airport. And that morning they had a lovely breakfast. They went horseback riding like it was an amazing day. And that they were sitting on a couch and she did not want to go. Like she was, just saying, I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you. Like she was saying all these things, and he started laughing at her and saying, like, you're acting like this is the last time you're going to see me. And that just brought chills all over to me because, she says that she's so grateful for that moment that they had because, she was in her way without knowing saying goodbye to him. So I just thought it was so unique and beautiful and a blessing for her to have felt that because, God forbid they would have been fighting or they would have, just left on a really bad note and that would have been, the last time. So she's very happy that happened. I think the reaction that I'm seeing from people is that they really want to give her another chance, and that the hate that she got is not deserved. So a lot of people are changing their ways of thinking. A lot of people are saying, you know what? I think that we judged wrong. We need to give her another chance. So after you watch the interview, I'd be very, very curious to see how you feel about it and what you guys think about it, because you know what, at the end of the day, like, we really don't know, right? And this whole dilemma of her posting or not posting, I think that's something that, you know, I don't personally agree with people who say that she shouldn't be posting. I think you need to do with your healing whatever makes you heal faster. Talking about it is amazing. I just started therapy 12 years later, you guys. Had I started therapy years ago, maybe I wouldn't be this fucked up, okay? Seriously, I think when you go through something so traumatic like that, I think you need to do whatever makes your heart sing, whatever makes you feel content, and whatever brings you peace. Because I'm telling you right now, nobody should judge and nobody should try and control someone else's grieving. That's my opinion. What do you all think about it? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you all. I am beyond grateful and thankful for each and every one of you. You guys bring me so much joy every single day. Even if we don't agree on certain topics, we still manage to love one another, and for that I'm so grateful. So thank you all. I'll see you on my next video, and I just really want to appreciate you, and I'm sending all my love to everyone out there who's going through a very traumatic experience right now, and I'm sending my love to Kate as well. So anyways, I love you so much, and I will see you on my next video. Don't forget to make a wish. Anytime I finish my videos, I always end it with a little wish, because I'm the tea fairy godmother. So you guys ready? Beedity, bobbity,